To it. Alright, so the first part, I'm just rolling out the peach fondant and I'm cutting out my 12 circles and setting them off to the side. So I'm taking these eye tools, and I'm such an idiot because when I was doing them, I didn't realize it was 3 designs and each end was the eye, like one was a right eye and one was a left eye. Complete total stupid moment, and I'm like, okay, but I just decided to go with the piping tip for the eyes. So now I rolled out my green fondant and I applied steady, even pressure, clear caustic, and then I cut out my 12 green fondant toppers for the storks. Now moving on to the white fondant, I rolled the white fondant out and I'm cutting out 12 teardrop shapes. This is of course going to be for the little bundle that the stork is carrying. I'm using my piping tip, as you can see here. Now this was a little tedious and a little annoying, so if you can find a piping tip a little bit bigger, because I feel like this was too small, but I cut out 12 of the little pieces that the tip made to make like the tie that like ties across the stork's beak. And then of course I also take the tip and cut out all the little middles of the little stork bags. So here what I'm doing is I'm kind of placing, and I'm trying to figure out the size of the stork's head. I didn't know if I should go too big. I didn't know if I should go too small. So I'm just kind of sizing everything and figuring out what I wanted to do. So I ended up going with the bigger plunger, and that was the size that I decided to go with. Moving on to the orange fondant, I'm cutting out the rhombus shape. And I'm going to start assembling my cupcake topper. I'm going to put the head on. I'm going to put the little bundle on, the little ties and everything. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the triangle really wide at the end. I don't know how well you can see it, but I'm going to make it wide at one end. It kind of looks like a long carrot. And then I'm taking the plunger and making it curve so it really sits up nice and tight up against that circle. And then I'm going to take just a little dab of water and place those little ties that I used the piping tip to cut out. And then I take a little teeny tiny ball of fondant and kind of wrap it around the beak to make it actually look like that it is wrapped. And then I'm going to take my black edible marker and just do a little U shape for the eye. Now something was missing, and on the picture of the stork, they actually gave the stork a little beak. So that's literally all I'm doing, or not a beak, I'm so sorry, a neck. And that's actually what was missing. And I'm like, okay, I needed that. So I added a little neck to the stork. Moving on back to the baby cupcake toppers, I'm using this sweater, really nice texture knit mold that Miss Jessica gave me. Again, thank you so much. I wanted enough for 2 because 2 cutouts will make 4, because I will be cutting these in half. So wherever you have the print at that you like the most, use those. So I'm just cutting them in half, as you can see here and as I stated. And then I'm going to bring my cupcake top over, and then whatever side has a flaw, you can use that side and to put the cupcake top, like the little knit part on top. So like the one side with the one cupcake topper, if you notice the third one in has like a little bent at the top, I'm just going to put that little knit part right on top of it. And now you don't even notice it. I'm also, if you notice, I'm like rounding them around just to kind of give them a little definition. So now I'm taking my piping tip and making the little closed eyes. If you have any snags or anything and just want a nice even, just use that little tool to kind of just straighten everything up. So now I'm taking my green fondant and I'm going to press it in the mold. I just want like a tie, like a really nice little tie finish to just kind of finish the little bonnet off. So I'm taking, again, this sharp tool. I love this clay tool. It is thebomb.com. And I'm just cutting all the excess off. And now I'm just pulling that. Look at that. Look at that braid, that knit braid. Perfect. So I really love the colors, and just putting that right along the edge. And since this tool cutter is bendy, I just curved it right around the cupcake topper and just cut them off and shaped them and wrapped them around the sides so it actually looks like it's going around the baby's head. So adorable. All right, so going back to this mold, there is a little teeny tiny pom-pom, and I just put a whole bunch of cornstarch in there, and now I'm taking my fondant, I'm putting it in, and it's just like a little knit knot, and that is going right on the top of that cupcake topper. So now I'm just putting a little teeny tiny drop of water, and I'm literally just rolling a little nose. And I put it on and I pinched it. I kind of made it like pinched it into like a little oval, nothing fancy, literally just a little ball. Moving on to the passy, I chose a gray fondant. Just because I didn't know what other color to pick, and this is still kind of neutral. So I took a piping tip, I believe, and just cut out the circles. Literally super simple, basic, easy peasy. And I just put them, I had to move some of the noses up so that they would fit, but that's okay. Literally just a circle and put it on the bottom. And then I'm taking my nail dotting tool, and the littlest one, I'm doing 2 dots because you know like little pacifiers have that little air thing, so it doesn't like suck to the baby's face and like air gets through it. Now literally again, I'm just rolling a circle and pressing it right on top of the pacifier. Stupid simple. So I have a very light rosy powdered pink dust, and I'm very lightly, as light as possible, making little rosy cheeks. Aren't they so cute? Now I'm taking my sprinkles, I'm putting everything together. It's later on in the evening, and I took some of the white sugar crystals and the light green, and then I had these really pretty pastel sugar pearls, and I mixed them up. As you can see, I didn't really have anything else like baby showery. This is all I really had. So literally, this is like my style. This is like becoming my cupcake style. I do a ring of frosting, I turn it on the side, I put the sprinkles on it, then I dip it, flatten them out, make it nice and flat, just like that. This is like becoming my signature style. So once I did just 12, I just did 12 of those. I'm taking, as you see, I'm taking all my frosting and my chocolate frosting. Now, usually it works better on plastic wrap, but I didn't have any. So I literally made a roll, and I'm going to do a vanilla and chocolate swirl frosting, and I just use wax paper. That's all I use. And there is the swirl, and then I just put the little stork cupcake toppers right on top, so it's like a cute little surprise in the middle. And now I'm just literally doing the swirls on the cupcakes, and then I'm gonna put the baby cupcake toppers on, and then I'll be done.